Live.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday. My Wally Kits and Wally Cats on my cyber
Hi.
pussy. Hi. It is the cat,
Hi.
Miss Inner City Kitty, Miss Powerpuff Pussy, coming to you live from the litter with today's Cocktail Social. And I have my socialites. Hey, y'all.
Yo,
Hi.
no.
Johnny.
Mr. Gilmore, are you quarantining?
Yeah, I'm here.
Mr. Nate, sir, thank you for joining us. Are you with us today? Are you hanging out?
I'm here, and I'll be watching until I get back home.
So you get back home?
Yeah.
So are you joining in on a conversation? What happened? What's going on?
I'll be here.
Oh, I see you working. You making them coins. Let me borrow 100. Let me borrow a dime. Hey, RKK.
Hi. All right, coinage.
First of all, that didn't even sound like 100 coins in that jar. That sounded like a good old 15 pennies. Now, you ain't going. No, sir. You can't treat yourself.
No.
We not. A hoe ain't settling for that.
Right, exactly.
You cannot cash at me that. No, sir. No, sir. No, thank you. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Now, certain places have lifted the quarantine. How is everyone taking it in? It's an 80-degree day, I believe. It got to 80 degrees, right?
Yeah.
It was a lot of mad people that thought they was about to get loose after 5.
Well, can I say something? Around my neighborhood, they got loose.
Okay.
They
They
got.
do not need Hogan to say nothing.
Let me say, it was so many people outside with sundresses on, a few guys with sundresses on.
No!
Everybody was they were ignorant out here today. They said quarantine lifted at 5 o'clock. Negroes was pulling out grills and shit. Egg was on the porch. Grannies was out there with their socks rolled down. They just getting ignorant. You know what? I didn't know it was
not with the socks rolled down, Jesus.
They is ready to have a shindig. And you know what? I understand. I understand. It hasn't felt like spring in a long time. Because this weather has been a bipolar thing going on. And so
it was hot today.
It felt like
hot as balls. It was hot as balls, yeah.
Yeah,
I almost pulled out a thought outfit myself. I had some Daisy Dukes that I was ready to break in just for the moment.
Leggings out. You brought them leggings out.
The ones with the animal prints.
Brown.
Don't knock a good animal print legging, okay?
I've
been living in leggings since the quarantine opened.
I have a few of them that I got from the hair store. I'm dying to wear.
I mean, they see through that. They see through.
Oh no!
That's how you make the good money. You can't be a hoe if you can't. I can't strut around in these alleys with no. I told you, Miss Inner City Kitty.
Oh.
No.
You ain't never lied.
So we're down 2 socialites. I don't know what happened to Mr. Cable and Miss Marzell, who might be ringing in. I don't know. But I hope all is well. Mm-hmm. What's been going on in your world? Anything new? Any new news? Have y'all heard anything? Put me abreast. I've been working all week long, so I've been out of touch with reality for about 5 days. So has anything changed, shifted in the world that I don't know about? Mr. Gilmore, you usually stay abreast of these things. Fill me in.
Little Richard died. We talked about that last week, huh?
Yeah, I don't know.
That was on. That was
I
on
feel like I lost a week. I don't really know.
Oh,
Shit, you talking about with me personally or with me in the world or?
yeah, everything, anything. You
Nah,
you look completely out of it. What happened?
no, I mean,
Sounds like he just.
there's been some good shit going on. I got 3 new arts jobs that popped up that are all for some virtual programming, so that's pretty cool.
Okay.
It's nice to flex that producer and director muscle. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay, you know the flex, sir. That's my nephew. Sorry, Auntie Bray.
Nah, other than that, I just been kind of ducking and dodging some dirty people. Like I don't want this shit. I don't need this shit. I want to enjoy the summer as much as I can without catching shit. And I don't know. It's interesting watching people wild out over like some news that's not really good news. It's just like I don't know. It's a test run, and that's what it feels like. Let's see how many people don't die, or how many people do die, and we'll see how we move forward. Yesterday 1,100 people were diagnosed in one day in Maryland, mostly in Baltimore City County and Prince George's County. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just kind of very sobered by the fact that this shit ain't over and people need to chill out. Like, stop being selfish, stop throwing tantrums, stop being a fucking brat, and do some real work to make sure this shit don't keep going. I mean, I feel like I'm annoyed. I think that's what it is. I'm just annoyed. Like, these are the same motherfuckers that aren't able to do a boycott, that aren't able to effectively march or stand for anything because they're inconvenienced. And I'm tired of dealing and listening to people's inconveniences because it just seems like bullshit to me.
I'm confused.
So I guess, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm confused as to how it affects people's civil liberties.
Yes, absolutely. I am so on. I'm with you on that, Nate. Just because it bothers me, and then for white people to use it in place of Japanese internment camps and anything that Black people have been through, comparing it to what the LGBT community went through with HIV and all this other. Like, no, stop, for real. Like, and the shit is just boring me. And I think I'm just more pissed off today than anything because I've just been reading a lot. It just seems very selfish to me, and I know people are selfish, and I think we've actually been even spiritually breeding these selfish people with this whole concept of me, and I, that now people are just shit. So we're dealing with a bunch of shit people with shit ethics who are now getting ready about to go out and do some shitty stuff. I just literally this guy is 28 years old. He was a coach and a teacher, completely healthy, and he's dead. Just gone.
Yeah.
That I don't know, that type of shit affects me heavy, and yeah, it sucks. I want to go outside too. Fuck, I want to go run, drink, act up, be just a whole fucking ratchet ass mess. But I kind of want to see 2021 and beyond as well. So
yeah.
I absolutely empathize and understand where you're coming from. My take on it is that the individuals that are crying for, to want to go out and want to engage in life and do the things that they normally be doing, when it finally hits someone close to them in close proximity, I want to know if they're going to be able to deal with the consequences of their choices.
Right.
Because a lot of times what happens is that when you're detached away from it, say, well, it's not affecting me. I don't know no one who's ever contracted it. I'm good. But it's until, and I remember growing up in the HIV and when it first really hit in the 80s. And a lot of people, there were a lot of individuals that were afraid, but there were those individuals that didn't care because it didn't directly affect them. It wasn't dealing. They didn't know anyone that had contracted. They hadn't lost anyone. Not my friends.
Right.
It don't affect my people. It's not going to deal. It's not in my neighborhood. So I'm good. And until it starts to cross over into them, then that's when I believe that's when we'll see a change, hopefully. But by that time, it'll be too late. And I'm thinking about
that's what I just don't want.
In history, I always say history repeats itself. And so, like, when those major pandemics occurred, there was always a first wave that everybody figured it out and what was going on and scared the shit out of everybody. And then there was a second wave that came and put foot in everybody's ass. Exactly. And that's what I'm afraid of, is that we haven't even begun to see what can happen. And
I'll agree.
Have no clue as to how to address this. And the stuff they don't have masks, they don't have sanitizer, they don't have a clue. They can't test, they can't, there's no preventative measures, there's no interventions, there's nothing. And everyone is like, you know what, if they say it's okay, it's okay. And I'm like, first, like I said, I am not, until I see the powers that be march up and down my neighborhood, assless and gloveless, singing Kumbaya. A bitch is staying in the house.
I don't see what the.
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the person who is in charge is incompetent. I feel like the person who is in charge is incompetent. We have an incompetent leader who totally ignored the warnings that we had that would have allowed us to possibly get ahead of this thing as a country and to be prepared. And now, here we are with another warning. They're saying it's supposed to be worse in October because it's supposed to be paired with the regular flu season. And you got this dude in office talking about, miraculously it'll be gone tomorrow. We can open up everything and everything's going to be fine. We're all going to be fine. No, we're supposed to help you. We're going to give you everything, and then turn back around and say, oh no, it's not up to us to help you. You have to help yourselves. And it's just like, when you got somebody in office like that, how can we as one unit strategize to be able to prepare and defend ourselves against this thing? Like, it's real. Yeah, we got a little lull in the numbers, but it's about to get worse.
We didn't get low. It dipped for a day. But
right. I think that exactly. It actually has not. The numbers really haven't changed for real. It's like we had a day where everything was cool and everybody's like, "Oh, we did it! Look what we did. We conquered it. We're strong." That's bullshit. It's like, I don't. It blows my mind that yes, he's incompetent. That doesn't mean that you have to be.
Right?
It's like, I really feel like one of them old grandma was like, he jump off a bridge, you gonna jump off of it too? Like, I mean,
but that's the idea of groupthink, and that's what
absolutely.
And that's what our society. I hate to say it, that's what our society is conditioned to do. That whole concept of, we don't have to march with everyone. You can march against the grain. You can do your own thing. You can think for yourself.
That's group American think. Yeah,
group American thinking. But the funny thing is, now I understand on one aspect of, for a lot of individuals, their fear is that they're not going to be able to survive because they don't have the appropriate supports.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So in terms of financial supports, landlords are acting a shitty mess because they are still requesting rent at the first of the month. And even though people haven't been working, BG&E is still requesting their gas electric to be paid. And so I think for a lot of individuals is, I need to be able to survive. People who are homeowners, their mortgage still needs to be paid. So it's like the government hasn't provided those individuals with the appropriate supports to be able to survive sitting at home doing nothing. The expectation is that they're still supposed to be able to take care of their responsibilities, and they can't.
And I agree with that to a point, but those are not the voices that we are hearing about that are trying to get outside.
I agree.
The people who are literally going through hell financially, seem to be the ones that still understand the fact that they need to stay safe. Because maybe it's the fact that God knows I'll need to add a health bill to this too. It just seems to me like the people that really just want to get out just want to get the fuck out, or they just having some like white attack right now. And they just feeling like, you know, that whiteness is being impeded right now. So, and it's frustrating because, yeah, I'm just pissed off and frustrated at that shit. That's what I mean, it's black people still getting shot by cops. It's still, I mean, getting just downright pummeled. Stories that are being hidden that we're just finding out about now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's constantly happening. And
there are all kinds of things happening under the umbrella of COVID-19.
Hey, Tula.
There's so much shit going on. And I mean, 3 kids were just recently taken by who they thought were health people that had come to kind of do a welfare check or whatever. No, these 3 kids were kidnapped. And now, you know, this mother who was naive, but naivety does not mean that you should be fucking, you know, thrown under the bus. But now she doesn't have her kids. And now everybody's like on her, like, oh, you should have known. But she thought that the state had come because her building that she lived in had a corona outbreak. She believed that they had come to do like a health check on her.
Mm-hmm.
So they came and snatched her kids. And now God only knows what they are.
What were they snatching our children for? Why did they snatch it? Was it a CPS case?
No. These were random people who posed as
kidnappers, basically.
I mean, we don't.
But she didn't know enough to go with her children.
It could be anything. But you know, they told her that, oh no, we want to keep y'all separated. You know, they use all of the words that you would use in government to make it sound like this is just to do a COVID case.
Wow.
And so, and what do? I can't share exactly where this was. I can't share exactly how this happened. Mm-hmm. But, you know, this was a case that was brought to my attention, and it happened here in Baltimore.
Wow.
And so it's ridiculous what's going on. And it's like, and then everybody just wants to go out and party. I get it, though. It's like, dude, I want to grill. I want to chill. Go chill with just your little small group. Then go shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but that still affects people because they're moving around.
We can see you, Christy.
Huh?
We can see you.
Oh, okay. I ain't know if I, you know, because I ain't get to come in on time. Who is that?
Yeah, somebody watching the Transformers or something.
Yeah, shit.
You sound like a demon.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna go in the house. I'm outside on the back porch.
Oh, okay.
I thought I heard all the
aliens are coming.
Shit, they might as well. It's the only thing else.
My sorry, I'm bad.
I don't know what the hell it was though.
There was a truck going by.
Oh. It didn't sound like no damn truck. Listen.
Yeah, this is, I don't know. I don't know. I think outside might have been the best option for me because my mother's husband is in here and they're playing cards.
Oh, that's gonna get loud. Yeah.
Y'all want his aliens. The world don't need to know that that's how my mama living.
Oh, shit, go ahead. I was just wondering what the hell that sound was. Please.
No, I'm gonna go get in the car. I'm gonna walk through the card game just for entertainment. Just for entertainment's sake. They arguing. It's cards. They arguing.
Oh, that's a good game. Oh, that's a good game. When you all cussing each other out. Did you call me, goddammit? Did you call me?
The argument was, you did not hit out. You didn't hit out.
Wow.
They playing
So did everyone get an opportunity to look at the questions, today's question?
I did. They were good.
Okay. All right. Miss Mazel, did you get an opportunity to see the question?
Well, I've been having a rough one because my phone is down. Like all of a sudden, my screen decided not to work. That's why I was late coming in because I couldn't get my phone up. I gotta hurry up. And she in a potato chip bag.
That did sound like a potato chip bag. So I want to start with one of the questions I think is semi-controversial, but it's just one. Since we're talking about the law and how they have been basically kicking Black people in their ass again, and being protected for being wrong while they're kicking Black people in their ass again, I decided to ask this question right here. Is the laws more protective of females than males? Is laws more protective of females than males? And why?
Not at this point. The shit, they beat women's ass just like they beat men's ass. So
Okay.
Opportunity ass whoopers. So
okay. You said equal opportunity ass whoopers?
Equal opportunity ass whoopers. Because I done seen some women get their ass beat by the law, so-called. And yeah. So I think, but with certain stuff, I do think it's a little biased.
Like
with the family court situations. You know, like I know a lot of good dudes that's out there, like that's really grinding, doing what they need to do for their kids, and then you got these women out here that's doing, you know, God knows what. I mean, like I know a person whose child mother was on drugs, and all he wanted was custody of his child, and they let her stay with the drug addict. So, you know, in that aspect, yeah, it's a little messed up. But, you know, other situations, they equal opportunity. Especially when it comes to us. Now, I don't know about everybody else, you know, but when it comes to us, it ain't no, oh, well, it's a female. We gonna take it like hell. I done seen people get, I mean, hell, look how they slammed the little lady down, here. You know, when the Baltimore County came and threw the lady down on the ground, she was a little elderly lady. Like, that's uncalled for. You know, like she's in her 60s, 70s, and you mean to tell me you a strong, able man, and you got to use that much force to, put down an elderly lady? Not only that, what happened to talking to people? Like, it's no talking to, to authority so-called authority at this point. So I think when it comes to us, I think the law is pretty evenly based. You know, it is, we get our ass whipped regardless, whether you male or female and you Black. That's in a nutshell.
Okay. Miss RKK, hit your mute. Oh Lord.
She's driving that shit now.
The hell is happening?
This bitch look like she in a bumper car.
We can't hear you, Auntie.
We about to see a reenactment of if the law is going to be safe. Shit.
Right.
Can you hear me
that
now?
shit?
I can hear you now.
Okay. No, what I was saying was I agree 100% with Mazel, especially on the family law aspect of the law. The men don't get a fair shake at all. They always they get ready to fight. I'm sorry, that's the Emerson Avenue shit. Like they will always side with the mother on that. But as far as like she was saying, they body slavery at 80-something-year-old woman, like it has already been scientifically proven where they've done a survey, a study.
You kind of breaking up.
they've done a study of young doctors, young Caucasian doctors, and they all believe that Black people in general have thicker skin, that we have a higher pain tolerance. Like, those are the things that they believe about us. So they're not going to treat us like they treat other people. Like, we are superhuman in God. So no, they're not going to treat us fairly as a people. Because I feel like they feel like they're outdone already. Even though Sister Madden, they have like the upper hand. Like, I don't know if I'm making a clear statement or not, but it's just how I feel. Like, in one aspect we are feared because we're like so superhuman, but in another aspect we're looked down just because we are. So either way, we get a bad rap no matter what, male or female. It doesn't matter. The only thing that I see and in balance is, like you said, in balance court. We just side with the other period, and that's right. Like the person comes back.
Okay, Mr. Causa.
I think I'm still in a space of just being numb to it all, and I stopped not so much caring as just being numb, and that started happening after Philando Castile was shot on a Facebook Live, and I just feel at this point, if we don't get our community in order, it's not going to matter
exactly
outside of it.
Right.
And we're so busy running for the bag and trying to get a title and acceptance from the other side that we don't even see how we are allowing them at this point in life, allowing them to continue to treat us this way. And I know it's hard to blame the victim, but at some point, we're not on a plantation a few generations into this country anymore. They don't have any knowledge of how we gonna get through this. Like, at this point, we've seen history repeat itself so many times, and I don't have the nerve to watch another person get killed on camera. And with the gentleman that was just killed, that happened months ago, and they're just arresting the person because it got posted on social media. So they're just arresting them because public opinion forced their hand. Like, it shouldn't take something like that. It's the reason I chose to live in the city versus the suburbs, because I had these issues growing up as a child. Like, I didn't want to be in a community of white people. But now, even in the city, you're just as much of a target as you are in the white, quote unquote, white areas of the community. I don't know what to think, and I blame a lot of our leaders or lack thereof. I blame a lot of our churches for worrying too much about the tithes and offerings than the well-being of their communities that they're in. This idea that a lot of bishops and pastors feel like I'm in charge of the flock that I've been put in charge of.
Right.
I don't have any responsibility beyond that. I blame parents for wanting to catch a quick nut before they realize I brought human life into this world and I'm not taking care of them anymore. Like, it's so much that we can take, that finger that we're pointing out at Trump, at Hogan, but the three pointing back at us makes us just as much, if not more, responsible for this continuing to happen. I saw a thread the other day, and it was like, I think the Black community has just said, coronavirus not a thing no more. And we just go, it was, it was back a couple weeks ago. We good now. And we're just carrying life on as if people aren't still dying. Like, I just had my niece's grandmother pass away from this week. So it's real. And we're not taking advantage of and that's not just about the pandemic, but we're not taking life seriously for each other. We're worrying about me. We're not even parents with families aren't even worrying about the children. I'm worrying about me. I gotta survive.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really numb to this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really numb after watching Lopez still get shot and hearing Trayvon Martin's voice, and now this gentleman Ahmaud, like seeing it is beyond. It's not just roots. It's not a history lesson. This is happening in real time, like now, right now. And how many people have to get killed before we stop running to the store and spending our stimulus checks and worrying about greed?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. I don't know what else to think. I don't know what else to do. We can't beat sense into each other. Like I really am lost for what to do. I know what to say, but I don't know what we're supposed to do at this moment.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I think at this point, you know, the ones of us that have the sense to do what we know needs to be done, do it. The ones who don't, I mean, you can't save everybody. And that's sad to say, but you can't save everybody. And everybody, I'm not even going to say that part, but I'm just saying you can't save everybody. But so if you have the knowledge to know that not to run back out here when this shit's still going on, because I'm damn sure not.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have enough sense in your own head to say, I don't need a governor or a president or my next door neighbor to tell me what to do. I can make my own decision and say, hell no, I'm not running back out there. If you don't have enough sense to do that, I don't know what else to tell you, because at this point it's common sense.
But common sense ain't too common.
Apparently not.
And there's people who are really intelligent that think CMOS is gonna save their fucking life. Like, I'm gonna just eat all this CMOS gel up, and I'm gonna be good.
First of all, what you won't be doing is you won't be coming for my fucking CMOS. I learned about it on YouTube from a Jamaican that was about 95 years old. And if he lived to be 95 sucking down some CMOS, god damn it, I'm gonna suck on some CMOS. I've been sucking penises and it elongated my life. So I'm going to the ocean.
And I agree with you. Like, I've been
immortal in this motherfucker. If you look at how many dicks you suck, your ass is immortal.
I've been reading for like a week.
Like Highlander, I am immortal.
I agree. Like, we gotta change our eating and all that dumb shit. But it's not gonna save. I know people who are still exercising in groups right now. Like, still not taking.
Okay, but at the same time, people are trying to get back to some type of norm, and I get it, but my personal preference is I'm not rushing back out there like that. I don't like being out there in the stores like that.
So, but I think it should be noted that normal has changed.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that also the fact that a lot of what we was calling normal, that shit was not normal. A lot of how we were operating, that shit wasn't safe to begin with. A lot of that shit wasn't cool. And I just don't think you need to do group yoga and then everybody pass that shit to each other. So what kind of peace did you find other than eternal?
You're ordering CMOS from China and shit. And the shit come to your house, now you got it. Like, I
feel like we need to.
At this point, you can't do shit but build up your immune system, and so that if you do get it, at least you'll have a fighting chance to fight it off. That's all you can do. Because
the thing is, what you're saying, right? That's one part, and that people are pushing this as this is your cure. And that if all you did was eat some carrots,
that's not gonna do it. You gotta wash your fucking hands.
The thing is, people
you sucking down smoothies and you still ain't washing your fucking hands.
No, if you go vegan and you do the sea moss, so you rub down in lavender every night, and then you go to your local brew house and she spin up a magic spell for you, and you go back with the ancestors did instead of doing what the white man did, you're gonna live forever. You's a fucking lie. You're gonna die first, your organic ass. You're gonna catch the shit that's gonna grow quick in you. That's what the fuck is gonna do. You ain't nothing but good fertilizer for this shit. And that's all the fuck it is to it. And I'm tired of hearing that bullshit.
Each other ass alive.
Right.
So, you know what?
Look, that's organic of fertilizer, sir.
But sadly, Blue, when I read this question, I guess my head went straight ratchet. Maybe too much Maury Povich during COVID. Because I started thinking about child support. And I was like, I said, damn. I said, yeah, child support, you be fucking people up. But
take that off the air just for this. They need to take that off the air right now.
Oh, you know, that show is filmed in Connecticut. That whole cast, crew, and everybody got the goddamn call. They the first ones. But I think just to answer your question back to if it's treated fairly, I was dating this chick we were on and off for about 2 years, and she got pregnant the first year we were together with twins. And she lost them like a little bit in. And when she got pregnant, I took myself down child support. And I said, you know what? Me and her, we never it was always just off and on. It was never like a solid strength of time we was together. I said, this shit probably happened for another 25 years. Who knows? Where we would just be off and on. And then, you know, I've always had that shit, oh, I'm gonna take you down, I'm gonna take you down. No, I don't want that threat just hanging over my head. And so I took myself down there. And I remember the woman was looking at me like I was crazy as shit. He was like, you signing up? I said, yeah, I'm signing up, goddamn it. I want to be signed up in the system, all ready to go. I don't want no bullshit. Here's my check. Let's take it. Do what you got to do. Just because I do think that there has been this kind of setup systematically where we kind of use law against each other in gender situations, where it's like, you know, I'm a call if you don't. I'm going to do this if you don't. And I think the threat of law has been more damaging than anything. Mm-hmm. And that, you know, to use it to attack everything. I'm going to ruin your reputation with this. I'm going to, you know, if a woman gets caught up in a scandal where she slept with a student at school, you know, it ain't going to be as tough as when a dude gets caught up in a scandal at school for teaching. And it's going to just be seen differently.
Be fucking the kids. I don't give a damn if you are.
Now, if you got good sense, if you fucking kids, it's nasty to begin with, woman or man. But people see it differently. Yeah. I mean,
they do.
Well, because women, they don't look at women as sexual predators. Like
no, but look at. I mean, I hate to bring this simple ass up, but look at Boosie. Everybody, like nobody. People are really arguing if he was right or wrong for buying a prostitute or a homegirl of his, giving his 13, 12-year-old son head. Nobody, but most people don't see it as wrong. Well, now, if it was his daughter and he had got his homeboy to do it, then everybody been like, oh no, how could it have been collectively seen as a wrong thing? The fact that we are debating if it is wrong, that tells you right there that there's a huge difference. Well, it was wrong as shit.
If he would rather for him to be that than be gay. That's the argument. I would rather for my son to get his dick sucked by a prostitute than to be Dwayne Wade's daughter. Like,
I mean, absolutely. It definitely falls into even more further conversation with that because, you know, if the boy liked it, then okay, he's straight. But if he didn't like it, then it doesn't mean that he wasn't straight. He may just not like some old woman playing with his balls. But he's already socialized in this situation where he can't come out and say that shit because his father gonna keep bringing old bitches in there to suck on his dick. So
black men have that as a
I mean, they told me that the culture that we live in now would rather your son be molested than to be gay.
Yes. Absolutely, I do agree with that.
That broke up on this end. What you say?
She said that the culture that we live in would rather a child be molested in the situation of Boosie's
grown woman sucking a child's dick.
Yeah, because he is, first of all, I don't care where he is, he's not at the legal age to even make consent for sex.
So
and if a parent, technically, if Boosie is still at home, first of all, that's the state failing, because the reality is that he condoned in sexually inappropriate behavior with a minor. So
can I say something really ignorant though, real quick? First of all, the fact that I found out that Boosie is only 37 years old. Now, a lot of what he was saying, I kind of wrote him off because I'm like, oh, this nigga like 51 years old. He talking out his ass. He doing that Gen X early 90s bullshit. No, I didn't know he was 37.
Yeah.
So you say he looked like he was in his 50s?
Did he?
Well,
yes, he does.
He looked old crap.
I think a lot of, but if you look at a lot of past stuff before, because a lot of people just found out he's 37. A lot of people was calling him Unc. They were like, "Oh yeah, well that's how they think. Unc, that's how they think." And because we all kind of have, a lot of us have kind of written off a group of people who are just they stuck somewhere in Wu-Tang, ain't nothing to fuck with. They ain't never came back up from there. So. But this cat is you 37, brother. I mean, so you're not that old to realize that. I don't know. There is no acceptable anything for this. I can't even rationalize it. It's just ridiculous. It's just stupid. The hell get your damn like this boy's whole choice is gone. He didn't even get to choose what old lady did it. And now you got to just.
See, look, I'm gonna tell you how unplugged I was because I didn't even hear nothing about this. Like, I don't even know. Like, I didn't even hear the story until you said it.
But it was little parts of the story that was crazy. Because he said, "I know what he did to my son because she did it to me." So you just pay her to just go around all your nephews. I want to know what his sisters.
How old are these kids?
They were
12. They were between 10 and 13.
No. That's too much. That's too much too early.
KK.
So wait a minute. How old is this bitch that she was around to suck Boosie's dick at 13? And now
No. She did him at the same time. Not the same time. It was the same party.
It was an old lady that just.
It was the same evening, honey. She isn't the butt breaker. She just was doing everybody that night.
Now, this is my biggest.
So why was the kids in the room? Like,
because he don't want them to be gay.
It's okay to suck a kid's dick.
You're breaking up.
I want to know how, as a woman, you think that it is okay. I don't give a fuck how much they paying you. How do you figure that it's okay for you to suck a kid's dick? Like,
if she thinks like he does, then that's not too hard to find. If she believes that what she's doing is keeping them from turning, I mean, you got people telling jokes now like, no, but you got people telling jokes now like, I'd rather my kids stay at Boosie's house than at Dwayne Wade's house. Like, you're a damn lie. Who knows it's liable to happen to my kid at Boosie's
I mean, because shit, you don't know how psychologically it affected the kids.
Right.
But nobody cares because
that was walking around right now who was forced to. I know.
I hear you, ISIS.
There are a lot of men that's walking around right now that was forced to have sex.
Absolutely.
That's true because I know quite a few. Like most of the guys that I'm cool with, like friends cool with, most guys have been either touched by somebody older. It was either a family friend or the babysitter, and I'm like, well, how old? I mean, I've heard as young. The youngest I've heard is 9.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you're 9 years old, and this woman is say 34. Like, what do you even see in a child that's attractive?
But it's all in how you tell the story, because Lil Wayne, very famously, Birdman set it up for him when he was 11, 10, 12, something like that. for him to have sex, but he didn't just have sex. He had sex in front of everybody with this older woman, in front of all of his homeboys, so they could make sure he did it. And
they couldn't just send one person.
When you hear, but when you hear Lil Wayne talk about this man who is now, he is, nobody wants to call him a junkie. They want to call, he's an artist and he's in that lifestyle. Like this man,
he came up with that goddamn costume on.
He looked like a what? He said he looked like a wet rat.
Don't do him. Don't come for Wayne.
But whenever he talks about that situation, you can see that there's hurt. You can see that there's some fear. There's some unresolved stuff there. But nobody wants to talk about it in that light because, oh no, but he's straight. So he get women, he had kids, so it's all cool.
So
the fact that he messed up forever.
So the thing is, Cable, you can jump.
I just want to ask one question.
I didn't even know Cable was here.
I don't condone anything that this guy did. I didn't even find out about. I don't know who Bleu Bootsy is or what the fuck that stands for. But my question is, why is every time this subject come up that it's always a major hot that you got put on the news when it's a black person, but then when these white bitches do it, it's like it's okay, it's escaped away, it's not made into a big thing. But the minute a black person do something, it's always.
We should know better as black people. We've been raped this whole fucking time in this country. We should know fucking better. We should know.
I'm not even gonna go that far. I'm gonna say because it's not my concern. My concern is black people and black health. So what they do is what they do. So I'm only concerned about what we do. I'm only looking on information on what we do and how we get through it. They got this shit. They gonna get through this shit.
I know, but I guess I'm saying it just kind of be off that we had this white governor that was sitting there, or this white in politics. I don't know, he's a governor, whatever, who was just sitting in California meeting gay black men online, getting them to come to there, and he was driving. He was doing this for years. And then we have a situation with Bill Cosby and now Lil Bootsy, and then we had this other person that was something about touching. When it's black people, it's always been made to a big thing. When it's white people, it just want to be swept under the rug. Like, it's not.
But you gotta look at who's in control of the media.
And that's my biggest.
You gotta look at it. It's so many different elements to this shit. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just, one particular thing. It's a bunch of shit they hit you over the head with. You know what I mean? So if the media is only gonna present certain shit, like if they putting you on the news as all black people rob, shoot, kill, rape, or whatever, then if you a person that don't know no better and you've never even come across a black person, so-called black person, the first thing you want to think is all they do is kill, murder, rape, and kill each other. So you will be in fear straight off the break.
Yeah.
Not to mention the scientific shit that backs a lot of this shit. As far as
I feel like we need to really start looking at these stories without thinking about white gays. I think we worry too much about what they're going to say or how they're going to feel. Personally, I could give a flying fuck what they think because we have to deal with this shit. It is happening with them, but the news that I'm looking at, the news I'm looking at is news about us. So when I'm reading this, I'm finding out about us. When I heard about those young men, and some of them weren't that young, who were being taken advantage of by this senator, I heard about that through black news that they were getting high as fuck on ecstasy and then dying in his apartment, one after the other. It was happening constantly. I didn't hear about that
constantly, and they allowed this man, and they knew something was wrong, and they allowed this.
But see, that is not a shock to me that they allowed him to get through it. What worries me is what was going on in these young black men's lives that they felt that they had to keep going to his apartment when in the article I read, all of them knew that men were dying at his place. So why do you?
It's so funny we can't say that because a lot of people did not know. That last boy from Chicago who actually that he murdered did not know who he was. A lot of blacks don't follow politics like that, which is really messed up. We should follow
it was. I'm talking about it was street knowledge that people would go to his place to party and didn't leave.
Right.
Now, there's a lot of word on the street about who people are where you can say, hey, don't go to the so-and-so. Like, I knew whose house not to go and play in front of when I was little. Like, cause
right.
You know, I ain't talking about what the news did. The news didn't say it, but the word on the street was, you don't play around that.
Okay, y'all.
First, I would like to acknowledge the individuals that have been following us. Tula, hey, thank you. Brandon, Isis, hey sis. We do remember the movie about Antoine Fisher. The question that we were talking about to everyone is the law more protective of females than males? And it kind of evolved. So I was listening to everyone's comments, and very, very valid points. Everybody made some very valid points. The situation with Boosie, one thing, even with the law, the question that I said, the cocktail question, what I will draw attention to is the fact that I think a lot of people don't realize what it looks like to function under trauma. I think that Black people and what generational trauma looks like, and that a lot of times, even with this COVID-19 situation, I was just thinking about the fact that what Black people actually have to endure. So you got high blood pressure, you got high prominence, high rate of that, high rate of diabetes, high rate of cancer, high rate of heart attacks, high rate of strokes, high rate of substance abuse, high rate of murders, and then you dump another piece of shit on us called COVID-19, in which is fucking us up, and then you got poverty, you got all these other things, and so at some point it becomes fuck it. I'm damned if I'm do, I'm damned if I don't.
So can I interrupt? So Bleu, have y'all heard about apparently the 5G the 5G towers are actually supposed to be bringing some type of
radiation poisoning.
So, yeah, it's supposed to be bringing some poison, and they place them in Black urban communities, and it's supposed to be slowly killing. The radiation is supposed to be so high that it's slowly killing people, and that's where cancer and all that stuff from. And they only putting it in Black neighborhoods.
Okay, well, look at how they was going to test the vaccine in Africa. If the vaccine is supposed to be so life-saving, why you testing it in Africa? Won't you test it on your damn self first? But it's always been like that. So at what point, just like Nate, said, at what fucking point do you say, you know what, instead of saying fuck it as far as life altogether, we say, fuck it, let's get our shit together enough. When you see these kids running out in the fucking street doing dumbass shit, correct their asses like they used to correct our asses, you know what I'm saying? And take these fucking communities back.
But so my response to that is, it would work if we knew the appropriate ways to handle our own, but we mishandle each other. And so
but that's part of the damn problem.
So listen to this, and the reason why I bring that up, it just ties into the situation. Because he doesn't know how to address sexuality and his concerns with sexuality and identity, he would rather his child be exposed to a traumatic experience in which he will not be able to understand until he's much later, which can corrupt the way that he perceives social, sexual interactions with a female. Engage. Look at Lil Wayne. The fact that this, which is traumatized. I didn't even know that happened to Lil Wayne. But my heart goes out to him. Because the fact that not only and it's just think of men in general. Performance anxiety is, first of all, sex happens in the mind first. When people think it happens in the body, it starts in the mind. So the fact that I have to perform sexually in front of older individuals who are cheering, rooting, jeering, doing all sorts of other shit, and if I don't do it right, or if I fuck up, they're going to judge me. And I have this weight on my shoulder. And you found that appropriate to do. And the fact that there are men out here, Black people, who, because we have such a fucked up, we've been in such fucked up situations, we have a distorted value system. We have a distorted morality system. When we use the law against one another. The reason I said that question about laws more protective of females than males, because a female can beat the shit out of a man and will not go to jail for domestic violence. But the minute that he push her or slap her, they will drag his ass up and down that courtroom. They will throw him under the
jail. They make it look like a fucking
predator.
Women lie.
And women lie.
And you know what? Who said that? Who said? Did Karen say that?
Yes.
I did.
You know what, Karen? And you know what? And it makes it so sad for the ones who actually need the police help, because it makes it hard for you to. But who's telling the truth and who's lying? Because women have lied and used the system for so many years, and it's like we're immune to it. It's like, oh, it's supposed to happen. That's why I don't believe child support system. The child support system is a system to keep minority families down, and because a lot of these females don't take care of their own child, and I actually see the males stepping up and taking care of their children. But yet, when they go to court, the system is designed to go against the male just to keep the male down. Because once you keep a male down like that, take away his money, he's working hard, actually doing for his kids, and then you still penalizing him for it. That's not a bitch up in there.
But what about the ones that don't?
Please don't.
I mean, that's what I mean by
that ain't taking care of their kids like they supposed to. So now, if they not doing what they supposed to do, and you try to work with them, yeah, you might not have no job. You might, might be in between jobs, But when you get money, at least think about your child. You got motherfuckers out here that ain't think about their child.
But on the flip side,
but then you got all these women crying. Then you got all these women crying, talking about, "Oh, I'm independent. Throw your hands up at me." But then the minute that bitch you need to show and prove, you run into the fucking court system to help your independent ass. So
But it depends on. It's a lot of. I mean, I feel where you coming from. I mean, you got some chicks out here to make a living doing this shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, having a bunch of different fucking kids and shit. But at the same time, you got people out here that's not taking care of their kids, and that goes for women too.
And I will say another thing for black people. What you say, KK?
I say, what about the dude who's a good dude, but who's just down on his luck and got a baby with a chick that is just nasty for no reason? Who's gonna take him down? Well, she don't have no job. She gonna take him down child support at his lowest point. They taking his license away. They add money onto him every so often, so he's already starting behind the ball. And a lot of it is done out of spite, not necessarily out of need. Not even necessarily because the dude ain't doing nothing. Like, he might not have a job, but at least he comes see the kids every day because he got nothing but time on his hands. But because you money hungry or you bitter, you take him downtown and you put him behind the ball, and now he really can't do for your kid.
I agree with that.
Right. And I honestly believe also when it comes to the law for black people, what I would like for them to understand is how the law functions. Those laws and things like that, they're subject to interpretation. And the thing about it is judges are not necessarily right. They're usually basing their judgments off of a bias, their own perspective of the law that's being argued. And so the reality of it is that when you go to court, you are at the mercy of someone's opinion and how the lawyers spin the law. So it doesn't necessarily mean you could be actually telling the truth, or you could be stone cold crazy or something that's fucked up. But it's how the lawyer is spinning it, and it's how the judge, if the judge is biased in one act, leaning towards the left, then you're going to jail. If you're leaning towards the right, then you're going home. But it depends on the judge and what their biases are. And so it's like what happens is that when it comes down to situations like child support, CPS charges, things, wrongful, when the police are brutalizing black people and they're in front of these judges and you want to know why they're so easily able to get off and everything like that. You got to take into consideration that these are humans that are making judgments based off of their own perspective, their own interpretation of the law.
But then you got to look at the law as far as like, okay, we still consider 3/5 a man.
I'm
saying, if you go by some, like Constitution.
Personally, I like. I'm just saying those measurements are a little bit off.
Yeah, they way off. Then you might be. Yeah, you might be 99 point.
You said 3/4. You said 3/5 a man.
He's working fingers to the bone.
My measurements may be off. Well, I have another cocktail question. On a lighter note.
Yes.
And this is a funny one. If you could choose one animal to help you win a fight, which animal would you choose and why?
A honey badger.
Damn, right off.
Motherfucking honey badger.
I was ready for it, right?
Honey badger is not going to give up. That bitch will hunt you until the fuck he can't hunt you no more.
Yeah.
He is not going to stop. You're going to have to kill it. You're going to have to kill it to get it off your ass. I'll just say that. Honey badger all day.
Honey badgers are vicious.
And they're not that big. They're not that big, but they will. The man. They be and they're
What animal would I was going to say? You took my answer, and I fucked up. You took my answer. I was going to say a honey badger.
A fucking honey badger. So you know what a honey badger do to you.
That's how you know.
Like I know you're picking honey badger.
I'd probably be like, "What is that?" You know? Oh,
what the hell?
He was having a side conversation.
Oh.
He must have put it on mute because that shit cut right off. He was like,
okay.
I get the shower. Look,
is that how you feel?
I'm gonna go ahead and get in the shower. We can just do this. We finish.
Hold on. Did you see me peer in? I was like,
motherfucker said.
Oh my God.
Say what now? What happened? Y'all.
Ain't nothing.
Look, you gotta put that cup around your ear and shit so you can get all of that shit.
I swear, now it came off worse than what it really was. Really, truly.
To be honest, I didn't even hear what you said. To be honest.
Oh, good.
If I go back and watch it might have picked it up, but
Jonice, yes, hurt people do hurt people and abuse other people. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
I want us to call attention to the Tudor experiment and the Tuskegee experiment. Yeah, they've been testing shit on Black people for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think that it was said earlier that at some point we have to take some ownership and some accountability as to the stuff that we allow to happen to us, because I think that there's so much infighting within the Black community. There's so much division, and and people are able to exploit those divisions by saying that the light skins against the dark skins, the fats against the skinnies, the uneducated against the educated, the county blacks against the straight, the gays against the straights, and then there's subgroups within that group. It's the transsexuals against the gay guys, and then the lesbians don't like the
straight girls or the gay guys.
There's all sorts of stuff in the Black community that keeps us divisive amongst each other. And until we start to learn how to see it for what it is, and appreciate our differences and use that to our advantages, it's always going to be an opportunity to kick us in the ass. And so I think that's what we're seeing. But back to the other question. The question was, if you could choose one animal to help you win a fight, which animal would you choose and why? You took my answer, Mizell, because I was going to say a honey badger, but outside of a honey badger, I'm going to say a tiger.
Now, it's another animal. I can't think of the name of it, but it's small like a mouse. but it's a serial killer. Like it'll constantly kill. Like its metabolism is so fast. I can't remember what the animal is, but his metabolism is so fast that as soon as he kills something and eats it, it burns off so fast that he like constantly kills.
So basically,
if that animal was big, I would pick that one.
So basically, what we're doing is picking an animal that we would choose to win a battle. So we're like Pokemon man right now, guys. So let me. I would pick something. Well, I don't know. I want something that's more like a silverback, something like fighting like monkey ape or something. Like I want something big, like that.
I want a silverback.
Okay, my final answer. Honestly, my true answer would be I would want a jaguar.
Yeah.
I would want a jaguar.
A jaguar. I think that jaguars. I want to say they eat what alligators or crocodiles. They eat one of them motherfuckers, but they some tough damn cats.
Yeah, I want a jaguar.
Well, first of all, when you see a jaguar, like think about like the setting. See, it's a lot that goes along with this choosing of an animal.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you in an urban area and you walk up with a fucking jaguar, it ain't too many motherfuckers that's really gonna. I don't know nobody that's gonna fuck with you other than maybe a dog. And that motherfucker gonna be like, yeah, you got that big, that's a big ass motherfucking dog. Big fucking dog. I'm going across the street. I ain't fucking with you.
You're right, Brandon.
Honey badger, they don't know what the fuck it is. They just know it ain't no shit they never seen. You know what I mean?
They bitches.
Brandon, you're right. A hippo will fuck you up. First of all, a hippo's mouth can crush the front of a truck. A car.
They can run pretty fucking fast too.
Yeah,
they are the leading cause of death in Africa. When it's animal death, they are the leading cause of animal death. Hippos are more. Yeah, hippos are.
Are they getting them on land or they get them in water?
They can get them both. They get them.
I'm not down. First of all, you gotta explain when you die and you die doing some crazy ass shit. Like how you get killed by a fucking hippo and you from Baltimore?
Got fucked
There's
up.
some shit you gonna have to explain. You know what I mean? So it's like you gotta die. Like if you're from Baltimore, they say you gotta die. Okay, maybe hit by a car. You might have died.
Wait a minute.
People will speed up on your ass, but not no fucking hippo attack.
Anybody remember that song for the Baltimore Zoo?
Don't sound like a honey badger come jumping out your damn tree.
Okay.
Hey, this whole conversation is fantasy. Where the fuck the honey badger come from?
I'm just saying. Hey, that shit. They had a dude that you ain't ever watched that show.
I watched the show, but you said in Baltimore. If a honey badger's in Baltimore, why the fuck?
If they had a tiger, if the dude
all I'm saying is
in the fucking New York project, why not?
And then it went and then across the street to what?
I'm just saying. Dude had a tiger in New York project, so a honey badger here, wouldn't be surprising.
And a hippopotamus there.
He had a dude had hyenas. He was raising hyenas until that bitch broke his damn arm.
What would you pick?
The fuck? Bacteria. Y'all ass.
You know,
Corona.
Right.
That's a virus. That's a virus.
Animal COVID-19.
No, that is a virus. I said bacteria. That is a living organism.
Oh, I know, baby. I'm saying COVID-19.
You said animal though.
COVID-19.
It's an organism. It's alive.
It's a living organism.
It ain't an animal though.
Too soon.
Too soon.
It's not a virus. It is a bacteria and virus are totally different things.
No.
And everything.
Before there was humans and animals, there was bacteria.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm going with bacteria.
That ain't an animal though.
That'll knock the fuck out a whole bunch of animals.
Some shit that got fur and claws and shit.
Oh, right.
You know who Jonathan sound like right now? Do anyone all of you remember the sword? I know all of y'all remember the Sword and the Stone. And you remember that fight between Merlin and the witch? And he turned into a German, made her sick to win the battle at the end. The Dauntless sound like. And you know, and he won. He won like the Madam Mim, that was her name.
Yeah.
Give ass a cold. It'll take out half the animals you ever seen.
He said,
KK,
you got to fight smart. Shit.
Animal. He said animals though.
What animal?
It is an animal.
Oh boy, pick an animal.
Can you pet that motherfucker?
The hell?
Well, let me go find a sick bacteria ridden somebody.
That bitch pet that motherfucker to my you get a little love. No, you can't pet that bitch. Damn.
KK, what would you pick?
A Tyrannosaurus Rex. A Triceratops.
I don't know. Like that honey badger is vicious.
A Wolverine is vicious.
Dangerous.
Yeah, same fucking shit. Same
And
animal.
Tasmanian devil, hyenas, like all of them are like totally vicious. Like
I wouldn't know hyenas. They little bitches.
Well,
I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't mind a pet hyena, like walking down the street with a pet hyena.
Come on.
That motherfucker diamond studded
yes, that
going on. You walk that motherfucker down the street, yeah, buddy.
Fatal Attractions. The dude had a baby, had a hyena that he raised, and then it got big on him and ended up breaking his arm, and he tried to get rid of it. Bitch broke the shit out of his head.
Something broke his ass over there. You right?
I wouldn't even trust it. Even if you raise it from a baby, like just like them chimps, when people was buying chimps and shit, like
I have an electric taser with me now. Every time that hyena move, he know that taser when he saw it.
They thought that bitch was gonna be just like Curious George, like and running around and shit. No.
So
I like Curious George.
I like Curious George too, but that bitch when he grew up is
socialites.
Not the same.
I think I'm going to move on to the next cocktail question because I'm feeling light and inebriated.
Okay.
And I haven't laughed today. And so this is the question. What are 3 items you could purchase at a grocery store that would make a cashier laugh?
Check.
3
enema.
I thought hard about this one.
Enema.
3 items.
Enema, a plunger, and a cow's tongue.
Wait a minute, Chrissy, we right here. Cause I said lube, a plunger.
Lube, a plunger, and a cow's tongue.
And I said a bucket of chitlins.
Oh.
You gotta buy lard. You can't buy regular. You gotta buy lard.
White bucket with a black lard just written across.
Lard.
I think that plunger gonna throw you. That plunger gonna be like, now wait a minute.
And you know most markets probably ain't gonna have no big plunger. They're gonna have that little short plunger.
You got a little yellow one with the black rubber joint at the bottom.
With KK, what were you gonna say?
Cucumber and some Cool Whip.
You said what?
An enema, a cucumber, and some Cool Whip.
You gotta get that long cucumber that's pre-wrapped.
Oh man.
That is the longest cucumber, baby. Go ahead.
What you was gonna say? Katie, you said what?
My 3 items. Mine would be definitely an enema. I'm always uncomfortable about enema because I know they be looking at me like, because I get the 12 pack. I don't have no time to be coming back and forth.
Motherfucker, get it in bundles. I'm gonna buy this shit in bulk. I got 36 enemas at one time.
I'm a bulk buyer. I don't believe in.
Oh my god!
I believe in going back and forth to the store. I buy bulk.
I feel you though.
I think I just be tickled. I should come sashaying up to that damn register with about 50, 11 fleets in his hand. I said, "Oh, look at him!
Now,
He about to go to a party."
Jonathan, you doing too much. It's a one box. It's 12 fleets for $7.99. And so, and the second, I don't really have anything else. Only thing I'll be scared front is just enema bottles. Anything else, I don't give a fuck. But
you got a jar of white.
Those are only ones that involve me. Oh, when I will speak from the past. When my mother, I know everybody on here probably dealt with. My mother used to send me to the store to buy her tampons and shit. I hate that. They always look different.
You know, I'm a girl.
That ain't bothered me because shit, it wasn't for me.
It bothered me, so they
but
like
it might be different if Cable going there because he you know he gay and they might think like, oh, this is taking this shit too far.
He had a rough ass night.
See that bitch buying tampons talking about I'm on my period.
I quit.
He took it too goddamn far.
Yeah.
See that bitch with panty liners and shit.
And then he come out the market with monostat.
Them bitches don't work for us.
He got some tampons and some monostat talking about, look at me.
He got monostat, Bleu, and a pickle. A cucumber. Monostat
and a pickle.
And a cucumber.
And carrot and a pickle.
And tampons just for a bonus item.
I said,
that's not good.
So I think all y'all kind of touched on what I was going to say. I said, if you came up to a cashier and you had some Bleu, enema, and some hemorrhoid cream.
Oh!
But see, you can take that either way because you can get are you lubing up the enema?
No.
Or are you using the lube to oil up something that you already got at home?
Not to help get past the hemorrhoid bitch.
This motherfucker got
I can't. This that clearly went past my head. Fell out.
Oh God.
I think if I was a cashier and I seen it, me personally, if I saw a gay man come up to my lane and he had hemorrhoid cream and an enema and some lube or Vaseline or make it
like if you're using your ass to get the turds out.
Would I ask for the number? Well, at least I know he clean. Yes, I will.
Okay.
Who knows? He probably just sat on the steps for too long. I mean, it doesn't mean he was plunged out. I mean,
you know what the grannies used to say? He got the pals.
He probably was training.
First of all, you know the cream for him when he go in that bench with a moo-moo on.
Preparation H wipes.
His hemorrhoid so bad he can't even put on pants.
Now, if he find wipes, what would you do?
Wipes?
Tucks.
You know they had the preparation H wipes.
His ass is sore as a bitch. This motherfucker need that shit every time he go.
That is so
I can't.
This bitch got preparation 8 in a pump bottle.
As lubrication.
That bitch house.
Michelle, where you get this shit from? I'm preparation in a pump bottle.
In a pump. You that bitch about.
If you got that many stories, I need you to be stopping alone.
That's sad. That's sad. When you should,
how about that?
When you can't wear pants, when your shit so bad you can't wear pants, them fuckers just pull up on your ass.
Okay.
How they look on Ace Ventura?
Question.
Yeah.
Next cocktail question. I thank y'all for the laugh. I needed the laugh. That was one. Okay, this is one for all my music buffs. If you could choose one music artist to marry but never listen to their music again, who would you marry? Now you could marry them, but you can't listen to their. You would never be able to listen to their music again, but you could marry them. Who would you marry?
Ashanti.
So she can shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Hey, Bleu, give me a salad and marry Smokey Robinson for me. We can really take care of some shit.
Just start marrying bitches.
Trying to think of somebody else like shit. Who would I marry just to shut their asses the hell up? I ain't even gotta like their ass. Just be like, I just want to get the fucking music.
Bleu. That's a hard question. That's a hard question.
I can't think of nobody that I just don't. I mean, it's certain artists that I don't necessarily music, but
Ashanti, you are wrong for that. Oh my gosh.
Shit.
Shut the fuck up.
Hell.
Where she's still living. That was so nice. I for ask Ashanti still living. So let me be real.
That's
real quick. Wait. So Ashanti is not really my real.
Baby.
Let me be clear. When I went
baby.
So stupid. When I went to the concert in Dallas, it was Ashanti.
Baby.
Ashanti, Perry Hilton, Maya, and Monica. And Ashanti actually was the best performer. Baby. I give her props.
Rain on me.
So
I don't want to live.
But if I was gonna pick someone, honestly, I would pick Jennifer Hudson. I feel
like you've been picking for the past 15 minutes.
She has a beautiful voice. I don't need to hear everybody because I'm here from bedroom. But
he's still.
I would pick Jennifer Hudson.
Wayne Brady.
Nice girl, pick him. We don't want to hear that singing.
Wayne Brady. Did you know he do like jazz and different little?
Yeah, but did he make an album? Did he make an album?
I don't know.
I hope not.
But I know that I've been like on my jazz station, on my Pandora. He's come up as one of the singers, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know he sang. Like, so he must have an album. But it wasn't. I mean,
Wayne Brady.
He wasn't bad. He wasn't bad at all.
I could never buy an album of Wayne Brady hits.
Wayne Brady. The motherfucker like, shit, you get that new Wayne Brady album? Shit. That bitch is high, honey.
Girl, that Wayne Brady rocking this. You missed out, guys. I don't the Ray Brady.
You pick KK.
I pick Pitbull.
I didn't expect him. Rock Pitbull.
He's sexy and all.
What's the song you say?
Necessarily need to hear another album from him.
Pitbull is a very attractive guy. Who said Lenny Kravitz? Yes, I love Lenny Kravitz.
Man, Lenny Kravitz. Yeah. I like how he dressed, everything, like his whole little vibe.
You give up his music.
Yeah, because the only song he's got that I love is I Want to Get Away. That one.
Oh, no, because he got American Woman. You talking about Lenny Kravitz?
No.
Oh, my
bad. I'm sorry. Y'all had moved on. I'm sorry.
No, we were talking about Lenny Kravitz. No.
I wanna fly. What about Seal?
No thanks.
Yeah.
Are y'all serious?
What we said? Will we marry?
Right.
That motherfucker look like a seal for real.
Sexy.
I think Seal is attractive.
I don't think he's sexy.
You would.
It's just something about his vocals and what I think his vocals and the confidence that he carry. Seal got his own swag that I think is very attractive. And I think if we look past the stars of the face got for the reason,
I agree with that.
oh my God, I think
that's just like a motherfucker saying Shabba Ranks. You know, like back in the day, motherfuckers used to say Shabba Ranks, and you know,
absolutely.
You know, Jay-Z.
Girl, bye. I lost me with that.
A lot of people like, that motherfucker ugly. But I'm gonna tell you, like, money and swag, even without the money, you could be a broke dude and have nice swag and look good and be attractive.
I don't think
when you add money on top of swag, on top, like you will get, that's just like Chris Rock. Chris Rock when he first came out. Look at Chris Rock when he first came out versus now.
Chris who?
Chris Rock.
Yeah, I never looked at him. I'm so sorry.
I never looked at him either, but I'm just saying Chris Rock, when he came out versus what he looks like now, is totally different because he has more money. And so he's able to, you know, like when you first come in, you know, like let's just say, for instance, you got skin issues. You gonna have them skin issues when you first come out versus when you get the money to take care of the shit, you gonna start looking good after a while.
That's not the did you see what's his name toes? What is Shaq's? Is it Shaq's toes?
Yeah.
And I don't understand how you make that much money and you can't afford to see a podiatrist. So like it's no reason why your feet look like that. Like
came out that bitch like a pterodactyl foot out there.
He do got a tribal sexiness going on.
I don't get it. How do you make so much money?
But you gotta realize he's on his feet playing basketball.
And he's got the own
shit.
But that's the reason why you should have a podiatrist on standby.
But the thing is,
it's just like looking for a ballerina with pretty feet. Her feet.
But he has the money.
Going to happen.
I'm sorry. It's no excuse.
I don't care how much money you got.
It's no excuse. If you have too much money, you have your feet looking like a whole horror movie. Is this not?
He might not give a fuck. Like, why would I put myself through all this foot surgery just for cosmetic reasons? If them fucking ashy ass, dusty, ashy, crusty ass feet still working and they ain't hurting this shit, then fuck it, leave them alone. Ain't no need doing no unnecessary surgeries and shit.
No, I don't agree.
Unless we gonna get a whole foot transplant, it ain't shit they gonna be.
Bro, girl, guess what? I'm gonna need to get a foot transplant because I have a foot statue. So I'm gonna need those feet to be together. My nigga, and you walk around with.
Then guess what? Shaq is not for you.
And thank you. That is bad. And thank you.
Not for you, honey.
It's bad. You gotta be able to move beyond that. You know, you gotta put some socks on it and keep it moving.
Hell yeah.
Baby, once I see the image, the socks ain't that away, honey. I know what's underneath. It's like a wolf. It's like a wolf in clothing.
You can get him some toe socks with the little foot with the nails and shit on it, so it look like it's his feet, but it ain't.
Hell no.
Mr. Gilmore, who would you call or who would you get rid of? Who would you marry so that we wouldn't have to hear them sing?
SZA.
SZA.
We did say thing, baby. Pick another artist.
But that's why he says
that's why he did. No, SZA is actually a beautiful black woman.
I understand.
SZA is a beautiful black woman, so I don't blame you. She's a beautiful black woman. Beautiful.
Give a fuck about that ass singing. Get some.
You said something about sizzlers. I was
Did you say sizzlers?
They got them you can eat shrimp again. They didn't open the steak back up. I'm gonna get me some scraps, bitch.
I want y'all to mute her right now. Mute her.
Y'all are so funny. Y'all are funny. Oh my goodness. All right. So moving on to another cocktail question before we call it quits. This cocktail question is for everyone. Your roles are different. What are the advantages of being the opposite? So it's opposite world. You are not a male. You are not a female. You are not a male. You are a woman to all the men, and to all the females, you are a man. What is the benefits of? What are the advantages of being the opposite sex?
As a man,
anywhere.
I got the question.
Yeah, I got my answer for this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can be anywhere. You don't get a period. You don't have to worry about getting pregnant when you fuck raw. And that's what I got for right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
these are real.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got.
Okay.
I would say that guys can sleep around as much as they would like and will not be called a whore.
Shit.
Wow. It's the truth, though.
I don't think the girls might be like, oh, he a girl, he a man who like, but for the most part, his reputation is not gonna be tainted for that.
Mm-hmm.
But as a female, if you're like that, then you all of a sudden you're a whore and every damn thing else. Other than you know, like you're not considered sexually liberated. Versus with a guy, it's like, oh, they can just do whatever.
Okay. Cable. That nigga genius.
Hi. How y'all doing?
He busted up like the genie. I thought a motherfucker rubbed the lamp over that motherfucker. Like, I wanna go.
Moving on.
I wanna be red.
Mr. Gilmore.
I wish the coronavirus would go away.
Wow. The benefits for me, as far as being a female, I have two. The two main benefits that I would like to be female, one is going to be raunchy, one is basic. But the first one is going to be, I think one of the benefits of females is their style. Fashion, I will wear the fuck out of clothes if I was a female. That's the one thing that I don't understand about especially our black sisters. There's too many clothes out here for some of these people to be walking around looking like the way. If y'all have great fashion, y'all have them very cheap prices versus men. Men fashions are very high. And females have some sexy stuff that they can buy for cheap and walk around, make that shit look like it costs over $1,000. And I would love to be in that fashion. And the second thing, this will be nasty, but I'm being real. The second thing is, the thing about being a female is the fact that they can get a dick in the head and one in the pussy, baby.
Wait a minute, what?
Damn.
Wait a minute.
And on that note, this is the Kocktail Social.
I'd be jealous as shit when I game bangs. I'd be like,
this is unfortunately,
mad as hell.
Well, fortunately, but this is what we do. This is what we do. This is the Kocktail Social. And I would like to say thank you for all that tuned in. My socialites, Cable and his own nasty ass, and everybody else. I would like to thank you. I am the inner city kitty, Miss Kitty the Cat Couture, aka Blue Waters, aka your hostess with the mostest. This is the Kocktail Social on Be Exposed Radio.
I forgot I'm coming out the side of the frame like.
Tomorrow, not tomorrow, next week on Friday for another Kocktail Social Hour. Thank you and good night.
Good night.
Silly. Good Lord.
This motherfucker got him coming from all directions, honey.
Baby.